Hello Apes and welcome to screencast number 6 for chapter 24, Sustainable Solutions. So we are continuing to think of sustainability and we're looking at environmental protection versus economic opportunity. And when you protect the environment, you help the economy. Pollution actually is much more expensive, and the cleanup from pollution increases taxes and it lowers the income for people. So if you automatically have recycling programs in place, laws and regulations for pollution, then you're going to be able to lower your taxes and increase your economy, your income. So the economic benefits of environmental regulation will actually greatly exceed the costs. Economies around the world have expanded over the past 45 years. We've got a lot of industrial growth going on, and at the same time, environmental protection measures have also proliferated. We're putting those in place so that we can meet the demands of the growing populations. When external cost and benefits are factored in, the economic value of sustainability managed ecosystems exceeds the value of the harvested ecosystems. So what winds up happening is it may seem like there's a big investment at the start, but you wind up reaping and getting a lot more back in the long run, and that's what that means. Okay, so let's take a look at sustainably managed ecosystems and converted ecosystems. So wetlands in Canada. This is an intact wetland, and this is the present value in dollars per hectare, and the value is over $6,000 per hectare. Where intensive farming, look at what happens to the value of that land. It's just a little over $2,000. When we look at tropical forest in Cameroon, the sustainable forestry putting out about $35,000. When you have farming on it, look, it lowers the value. We can see the same thing for mangrove forest and traditional forest. And when you harvest for timber, look at how it lowers the cost on that. It's easy to feel disconnected from our natural environment, but we are a part of that environment. There's millions of urban residents that have never set foot in an undeveloped area. People from the city that have never been hiking through a wooded area or mountain areas. Most people no longer have an understanding of where their food, water, and clothing come from. We've moved from the farm, and we can get our food in the grocery store, and we disconnect where that actually comes from. We just think, okay, we're going to the grocery store to get it. It's there. We have no idea. We're going to talk about palm tree oil, one of the movies that I'd like you to watch, and if you have a chance to watch it this summer, is Before the Flood with Leonardo DiCaprio. Great. You're going to see palm oil plantations going up, and palm oil is used in products like Nabisco and your Oreo cookies and your Cheez-Its and some of your hair products. And when you see how much land and rainforest is taken away just because of this plant, it's absurd. It's really threatening. And people don't understand the cost of having those products that I just mentioned, and there's more than just the ones that I mentioned. But the cost is so much more when you think about the habitat loss that's going on. When we consider where our things come from, it becomes easier to see how we are part of the environment and that we need to maintain that environment. Then we can see what is good for the environment, and we can also see what is good for people. So let's take a look at a simple Sunday. You know, it's hot this summer. It's been really hot the past couple of days. Your maraschino cherry came from Washington, and it's treated with food coloring, lemon juice, brine, and almond extract to give it flavor. Your strawberries are grown in coastal California. Your walnut in the Central Valley of California. Chocolate sauce is Latin America or West Africa, and it's got butter, sugar, salt, milk, and extracts from other countries. Your spoon, it's a complex of metals that come from the United States and Canada, South Africa, and Asia, or if it's plastic, from petroleum from Saudi Arabia or Venezuela. Your bowl typically is going to be glass from silica, soda ash, limestone, and that comes from the U.S. Midwest that's been mined. The ice cream from your dairy cows from Vermont or Wisconsin, the sugar from the sugar cane in Florida or Hawaii, the eggs from hens that are in Indiana or Georgia, your vanilla extract from Mexico or Tahiti. The banana is grown in Ecuador or Panama. So just eating that, you're impacting all of these other areas just from having that Sunday. Sustainable solutions to the environmental problems are numerous. One, we've got to get political. We've got to engage our politicians, and they need to guide we need to ask them to guide the political leaders to enact policies for sustainability. That means that corporations need to be able to benefit from these interest groups, and they need to be, if they benefit, they need to influence the politicians. Citizens have the same power if they choose. We've got a voice, and we need to use that voice. We can do that by voting, attending public hearings, donating to advocacy groups, or writing letters and making phone calls. And that's one of the things that I did after I disagreed with the president's decision for the Paris Treaty. I wrote letters to almost every state representative in Pennsylvania. I didn't make phone calls, but I wrote letters. So some approaches: be politically active, vote with our wallets, pursue quality of life, not just economic growth, limit population growth, encourage green technologies, mimic natural systems by promoting closed-loop industrial processes. We'll talk more about that in other chapters. Enhance local self-sufficiency, yet embrace some aspects of globalization. Pursue systematic solutions, and think in long-term. Promote research and education. Consumer power. You've got the power in your wallet. What you buy influences sustainability. So buy eco-labeled products, recycled paper, dolphin-safe tuna. Be familiar with the products that you're buying. As I said, you know, there's products, again, Google palm oil and what products are made out of palm oil, and avoid using those products. Promote green purchasing at work and school. Buy certified sustainable wood, organic food, energy efficient appliances. You know, if you have to buy a new appliance this year, encourage your parents to make it energy efficient. Employees can also voice their preferences in purchasing decisions. So if you work for somebody, use that voice. A lot of times we think, oh well, we're not going to get the same products, and the quality isn't going to be that good, and our quality of life is going to drop. And that's what the people that promote or produce the products unsustainably want you to feel. But it's not going to change. Economists and policymakers talk of economic growth as an ultimate goal, and growth is a tool to attain the real goal of maximizing human happiness, and you're going to be able to maintain that happiness. More and bigger and faster and better is not necessarily better. In the United States, 5% of the world's population is here, and we use 20% of its resources. We're consuming it at a rate where it would take Americans alone 4 planet Earths in natural resources to sustain their habits. But more income does not translate into being happier, as we all know. We will not have long-term happiness by endlessly expanding our economy. This looks like Costco or Sam's Club or BJ's. You buy in bulk. And believe it or not, buying in bulk is going to help reduce your carbon footprint because they don't have to do many tiny packages. They do it in larger packages. All right, that went a little bit too fast. So when we look at happiness versus income, here's how our average income is increasing, and then we see very happy people. They fall kind of on this line. So they show you that money doesn't make you happy. Then when you take a look here, blue is not too happy, yellow is pretty happy, and red is very happy. And when you look at their income, you can see where there's people that are not happy with incomes that are relatively high. So again, thinking of enhancing your quality of life, improving technology and efficiency is going to help enhance that quality. When you develop a sustainable system, a manufacturing system, you're going to find that the environmental pressures are going to lessen and you are going to be happy. You modify your behavior and your attitudes and your lifestyles to minimize the consumption. I think we do this. I mean, you were born with recycling. My generation wasn't. It took us a little bit to learn, but now it's just second nature to you guys. You just automatically do it, and that's what we need to do. We need to modify our economic approach. We must incorporate external cost into market prices and goods for services. We've got to consider green taxes and phasing out harmful substances. That could encourage sustainability, and doing all of this will provide a clearer view of the true cost and benefits of our decisions. We need to look for population stability. Still in lower income countries, underdeveloped countries, the population explosion is happening. These underdeveloped countries have multiple children, 15 or more, and we've got to kind of slow that down. And when we become developed, guess what? That's the best birth control. The richer countries, the population growth is slowing in those because it's too expensive to have children. I think it's by the time a child reaches the age of 18, a parent has spent over $2 million in that lifetime. Continued human population growth is not sustainable. Technology has expanded the Earth's carrying capacity, but it's not going to be able to continue if we don't cut back our fossil fuel use. Sooner or later, the growth will end. This is going to happen through wars and plagues and famine, and possibly some voluntary means as a result of wealth and education. The demographic transition may help developing countries because as developing countries develop, their population numbers go down. Green technologies are also going to need to be put into place. We're going to talk about the iPad equation in another chapter, so we'll cover that then, but this is something that we need to consider as well. All right, let's end this here, and we don't have too much more to go. See you in a little bit.